Hello guys, welcome to a very fun video today. I think that there is probably one thing that all of us readers can agree on, no matter what type of reader you are, how fast you read, what genre you read, whatever. I think we can all agree the prices of books are getting a little out of hand. Let's be honest, paperbacks are now almost $20 for a paperback. Hardcovers are over $30, and we're not really living in times where money is growing on trees. So today I'm doing a bit of an experiment. My favorite used bookstore chain, I guess, they're in a couple of different states, is Half Price Books. And Half Price Books' motto is all of their used books are 50% off the price on the jacket. They also do sell new books for a slight discount. We're not going to be probably picking up any of the new ones today, but today is Boxing Day. It is the 26th of December, and today through the 28th, they are offering an additional 20% off of the already marked down prices on the used books, which is crazy. So today we're gonna do a little experiment. I have my Amazon wish list on my phone with all the books I want. And guess what? There's books even not on that list that I want. I just want all the books always and forever. So we're gonna do an experiment today. We're gonna go to a bunch of different Half Price Books. I live in Austin, Texas, and there's a bazillion of them. We're gonna go to a handful, maybe get lunch, do the do, because it is lunch time. So we may be hungry or out, we'll see. And then I'll show you around the stores, show you some things I'm finding, and then whenever we get home, I'll show whatever books me and my husband's coming with me and or my husband find, and we will compare those books, what I paid for them versus what they are on Amazon versus what they are at Barnes & Noble, and see what our savings really are, because are used books worth it? Is that the move? Is that the way? Is that what we should be doing? Let's find out. Let's go to the store, and we're gonna switch over to the phone cam because I'm scared to vlog in public. Y'all, we are back. And we are stacked, baby. I had this all organized and then I just fucked everything up. Okay, guys, we ended up going to 4 different Half Price Books. We left here around noon. It is currently 3:46. So we went to all 4 stores, which is a lot of driving, and to lunch. Not too shabby. And I got 11 books. And y'all, wait till you hear this. I did make a little spreadsheet, as well as my editor, my husband, will be putting up the stats. I will move out of the way so we can have some stats going. And yeah, we are gonna go from our first stop. Our first stop was our most fruitful. We got 4 books at our first stop, and I basically went through, and Half Price Books was having the additional 20% off today, so I'm going to be giving you all the info based on that and peeling off these stickers as we go. But all of my stats are based off the price I paid, because I went today because I knew we were having the sale and I wanted to see what kind of savings we could have in this situation. So usually the stickers come off super easy. Today, not so much, but it looks like this book has actually been at the Half Price Books since July, which is crazy. The next 2 both were there since July. The first book I picked up is a contemporary fiction book, which I am trying to get more into, and that is The Second Ending, a novel by Michelle Hoffman. This book is about a girl named Prudence, who was once the most famous kindergartner on the planet because she taught herself to play piano at age 3. Now she is 48, her kids are away at school, and she agrees to compete on a wildly popular dueling piano TV show to reconnect with her inner artist. But this captures the attention of her terrible ex-husband, and he blackmails her over a buried secret. So I think that sounds really, really good. I paid a total of $7.20 at Half Price Books for this. Upon my research, this book currently at the time of filming this would be $11.15 on Amazon, and $18 at Barnes & Noble, which tracks with the fact that it is $18 on the back of the book. So that is our first find from store number 1. I feel like some book textures of the cover, the stickers stick more to. I'm gonna have to use some Goo Gone on this one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to use some Goo Gone to get the sticky residue off of this. So we're just gonna ignore that part. You guys probably won't be able to tell. Maybe you can. It's like on the Rowell part. But I got Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. This book is about 2 gals who know that somebody is monitoring their work email, but they just can't bring themselves to take it seriously. They go on sending each other endless hilarious emails discussing every part of their personal lives. This person gave up on the book at chapter 23, whoever read it, but like a lot of the book is like written in email, and I think that's super fun. I love mixed media. And then meanwhile, this guy can't believe his new job reading other people's emails, and he comes across their messages and he knows he should turn them in, but he's too captivated by their stories. So I think that sounds super duper fun. I paid only $6.79 for this book. It is currently $13.87 on Amazon and $18 at Barnes & Noble. Oh, the sticker's coming off this one like fucking butter, baby. The next book I have is The Last Thing to Burn by Will Dean. Also, this I believe is also contemporary fiction. Yeah, fiction. This is a thriller book. It is The Last Thing to Burn by Will Dean, and just the little top blurb is, he is her husband, she is his captive. Her husband calls her Jane. That is not her name. She lives in a farm cottage surrounded by open fields. Everywhere she looks there's space, but she is trapped. No one knows she's there. Visitors don't come, and if they do, she is not seen. Her husband records her every movement. If he doesn't like what he sees, she is punished. For a long time, escape seemed impossible, but now something has changed. She has a reason to live and to fight. Now she is watching him and waiting. Sounds so good. This was recommended in a TikTok that I saw about a girl talking about like cult-ish books. But this I only paid $6.39 for, and it is currently $10.99 on Amazon and $18.99 at Barnes & Noble. I did pull up the Barnes & Noble website while I was doing this. And then the last book I got at this first stop is The Good Sister by Sally Hepworth. I've read 2 other books by this author. I think they're both blue. I think they're both blue. Darling Girls and The Soulmate. And this one's called The Good Sister, and it says 2 sisters, 1 truth, but which of them knows it? Fern works at the local library. She has a diner with her twin sister Rose. She avoids crowds. Fern has a carefully structured life. When Rose discovers that she cannot get pregnant, Fern sees her chance to pay her sister back for everything Rose has done for her. Fern can have a baby for Rose. She just needs a father. Simple. So we'll see how that turns out. But for this book at Barnes & Noble, or at Half Price Books, I paid again $6.39 for this one. A lot of books were $6.39. And this one on Amazon is $10.84, and then it is $17.99 at Barnes & Noble. So already tons of savings. Then we went to our second location where I picked up 2 books. The first book I picked up is a very popular title that I did not have, and that is A Man Called Ove. I don't actually even know what this is about. It says, all you need is Ove. At first sight, Ove is almost certainly the grumpiest man you will ever meet. A curmudgeon with a staunch principles, strict routines, and a short fuse. People think him bitter, and he thinks himself surrounded by idiots. Sounds like Dr. House, honestly. But I love a grumpy old man story, so I am thrilled to read this and start down the Frederick Bachman line. This was also $6.39 at Half Price Books, and as you can see, these books are in perfectly good condition. Nothing really bad about them. For some reason, this book is $14.77 on Amazon. That's kind of expensive for a paperback on Amazon, so I was shocked to see that. And it is another $17.99 at Barnes & Noble. Then the next book I picked up was Things You Save in a Fire by Catherine Center. I've read 1 book by Catherine Center. I will admit I've only read 1, and that is Hello Stranger. And after this haul and what I already have, I think I'm gonna have 5 books to read from her, but like, I love that. I love books that have a little bit of romance but are more like about the story, that the romance is like a little sprinkle, or a story without romance. So this is things you save from a fire or save in a fire. This is about our main character, Cassie, and she is a firefighter in Texas. And it says her estranged and ailing mother asks her to give up her whole life to move to Boston. Cassie suddenly has an emergency of her own. It says the tough old school Boston firehouse is as different from Cassie's old job as it could possibly be. Hazing, a lack of funding, and poor facilities mean that the firemen aren't exactly thrilled to have a lady on the crew, even one as competent and smart as Cassie, except for the infuriating, inspiring rookie who doesn't seem to mind having her around. But she can't think that, because love is girly and not her thing. And don't forget the advice her old captain gave her: never date firefighters. So it says this is a heartfelt and healing tour de force about the strength and vulnerability of nourishing magic of forgiveness and the life-changing power defining courage at last for yourself. So this sounds really good, and I paid $7.19 for it. It is only $9.19 on Amazon, so this one was not as big of a savings, but this book is $19 at Barnes & Noble. Any hoodly doodle. Our next location also got us 2 books and a free bookmark. Another thing they've been doing is if your order at like the one store is over $30, you get a coupon book for the next year. I already have 4 of them between me and my husband. He only bought 1 book on this trip, and it was a brand new book, so I'm not including it in this. Basically, for Christmas, I got him this like really cool edition of Lord of the Rings, and he wanted to get The Hobbit and like the same covers, and they had it there, and it was $20 for the 1 book. This is a book I've been looking at a lot, and this one's called The Little Italian Hotel by Pedro Patrick. And I love books about Italy. I was telling my husband as we were leaving that like going to Italy is, I think, the single-handedly like one of the greatest things I've ever done in my life. So I had to get this, and it says escape to Italy with this uplifting novel about healing and second chances. And this is about a lady named Ginny, and she is a radio host and a relationship expert, and she surprises her husband with a trip to Italy, and he surprises her with a plan of divorce. So that's what this one kind of is about. And for this one, I paid $7.59. I think this was the most expensive of all the books I bought today. It is $11.04 on Amazon and $18.99 at Barnes & Noble. Then the other book I picked up while we were at this location of half-price books. Oh, I've been forgetting to tell you the genres. The Good Wife is a thriller, and then the next 3 were all found under the fiction section. This one is in the fiction section at Barnes & Noble, but it was in the romance section in half-price books. It says fiction on the back, so that's what we're gonna go with. And this is The Lonely Hearts Book Club by Lucy Gilmore, and this is about a girl named Sloane, and she lives in a small town and is a librarian, and she never thinks of herself as lonely, but still she looks forward to that time every day when the old man comes to browse the shelves, insulting her. Their sparring is such a highlight of her day. When he doesn't show up one morning, she is concerned, and then another day passes and another, and she's trying to discover what happened, I suppose. It gives a lot of the same energy as The Last Chance Library, which is one of my favorite books of 2024. So, very excited about the Lonely Hearts Book Club. I paid $6.39 for this book. It is $10.69 on Amazon and $16.99 at Barnes. Then we went to our final location where I did pick up 3 books. The first book I picked up is from the horror section, and that is The House Next Door by Darcy Coates. And it says, no one stays here for long. She begins to suspect something that was wrong with the crumbling gothic monstrosity when its family fled in the middle of the night and the children screaming, the mother crying. They never came back. No family stays for long. No life lingers beyond its blackened windows. No voices drift from its ancient halls. Once Josephine swore she saw a woman's silhouette pacing through the upstairs room, but that's impossible. No one has been there in a long, long time. But now someone new has moved next door, and the house is slowly waking up. Torn between staying away and warning the new tenant, she only knows that if she isn't careful, she may be the next victim. So that sounds nice and spooky. Again, this was horror, and I only paid $5.99 for this bad boy. It's $13.49 on Amazon and $17.99 at the good old Barnes & Noble. Then we found a fairly like popular book. I think this is the only, I mean, A Man Called Ove is very popular as well. But otherwise, I think this is the most popular book. And I honestly didn't really have any intention of picking this up. And then I saw it and I was like, for the deal, I think I must. And that is Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. Both my best friend Andrea and my best friend my sister have read it and gave it 5 stars, I believe. So there's that. I paid $7.20 for it. This book is $13.48 on Amazon and $17.99 on Barnes & Noble. And then my last pick is another Catherine Center, and this one is Happiness for Beginners. And this one does have like a Netflix adaptation. And this book is about a girl named Helen, and she can't quite seem to bounce back. She's newly divorced, 32. I love like that these are older characters. I am 29. I think it's fun to read about people in their 30s. But her life has fallen apart beyond her ability to put it back together, so when her younger brother convinces her to sign up for a hardcore wilderness survival course in the backwoods of Wyoming, she hopes it's exactly what she needs. And that's as much as I read of the back at the store, and I was like, sold. It's giving Survivor. And this book was $6.39. It's $12.08 on Amazon, and it is $19 at Barnes & Noble. So let's go over the stats. At Half Price Books during this sale, I was able to get 11 books for $73.91. Let's hear the applause. Let's hear the cheers, because that's incredible if you ask me. Like, that is on average $6.63 a book. You just can't do that in person. And in these trying times, like, deals and steals are what we are looking for. It's what I'm looking for. It's what I need. It's what I want. I love it. And then if you add up all the prices of everything, if I would have bought all these books on Amazon, I would have spent $131.53, which is an average of $11.91 a book, which is almost double per book as to what I spent at Half Price Books. And we had a $57 savings, which is saving about 45%. So we got almost 45% off of the Amazon prices. And then if we would have bought all of these books at Barnes & Noble, we would have spent, remember, we spent $73 today. We would have spent $199.93 if we would have bought these at the good old Barnes & Noble. Which means the average cost per book at Barnes was $18.18, and we saved $126.02 by buying these books used. And it's better for the, like, for my wallet, it's better for the trees, it's better for all the things. And that, my friends, is a 64% savings. Can you believe it? I am blown away with everything I was able to get. So many new amazing finds for such steals and such deals, baby. I am thrilled with this experiment. If you'd like to see me do this again in the future, let me know down below. Let me know if you have used bookstores by you, if you have good books at your thrift stores, if you have a Half Price Books. Let me know. I think around where I live personally, because like I said, I drove around and we went to 4 Half Price Books. We probably could have gone to like 10 within an hour radius. But because of that, I do feel the couple of times I have looked at books at the thrift store, I have noticed that they are not in good quality and not books I've ever heard of. And I think that's because we have Half Price Books. I think a lot of people would rather, even though you don't get you probably get on average, like when you bring books there to sell, like $1 or $2 per book, it's like not that great. But it's more than giving them to the thrift store for free. So I think that's why I've not seen very good luck at the thrift stores around here, but I'm still buying used books. So let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!